day 4 today? It's day 4, isn't it? That's something that has been money. Phones on silent.
How's yours?
Very much. It was mine. That was mine. All right, okay. So this is the 4th day, and it's Fire Day. It's Estia in Greek. So we've got a little excerpt here. Just as Moses lifted up the flaming serpent in the desert, so must the Son of Man be lifted up, that all who believe may have eternal life in him. John chapter 14, verse 15. Now, it doesn't mean I'm getting religious on you. It's just a little excerpt that is connected to the fire element. Okay, and we will be discussing this serpent business further on in the day, because the serpent does actually represent fire and wisdom and Sophia. It's all but one and the same. So, fire. It is directly linked to desire, direction, devotion, discipline, Sophia, like we just said, wisdom, the caduceus, Ida Sushumna Pingala. It is the fire element in action. Okay, all these things that we have just mentioned. Also, the tree of life is very much connected to all of this, and you again will find out later on today. Also with the fire element, what you need to be very, very aware of is that it can destroy you when it is in excess. Yeah? It can deplete you when it is deficit, by the same token. And it can exalt you when you learn how to master it. So it can lift you to the heights, it could drag you down to the dreg, it can take you anyway. But when you learn to master the fire element, to understand it and to embody it correctly, then it really is a true form of mastery indeed. So that's the first bit about it. So what we're going to do is we are going to, as each of our element days, do a deep discussion about this element. And what we're going to discuss today is how the fire element is connected to esoteric stroke religious doctrines that have been manipulated, corrupted, distorted our instinctual impulses. And to one degree or another, we are all affected or tainted by this situation, because of course it all goes way back into the arcanum of antiquity, back into the ancient days. All right? How they have encouraged us, these doctrines, how they have protected us, how they have prevented us and submitted us into things like humiliation, shame and confusion about sex and sexuality. So this is how it all links up, because fire is very much connected to the physical action of sex also. So, without sex, incidentally, nobody could even be here. So why there is so much shame and blame and everything else that's connected to it, you know, what is it that we are being prevented from? What is it that we are being deprived from by not knowing the true esoteric nature of the game? Right? So, with the sex, or the fire element, how have we used it? We have abused it in order to fill or to accumulate, yeah? Or it gives us status, worth, or a false sense of power. These are all the different ways that sex and sexuality has been used. And this is how it connects up to our Adam and Eve story, which we're going to go into this allegory very deeply today and explore. On the flip side, we're going to look at how we've denied ourselves from it, that is, you know, the sex or the fire element, repressed it or avoided it in order to be chaste or spiritual or morally accepted, making it actually all the more dirty and all the more appealing, right? So that's what we're kind of doing with that. So today we're going to dive into the arcanum of antiquity, as I said. We're going to explore Adam and Eve and the ancient scriptures, but we're also going to explore the twin flame anomalies in the DNA. Now the twin flame anomalies is also very much connected to the element of fire and also sex. And this is why people get into a lot of trouble and a lot of distorted impulses due to this whole twin flame theme that is enveloping the planet currently. So we're going to look at the tree of life and the tree of knowledge and find out why they have been separated. And that is also connected to the Adam and Eve story. The apple of the tree of life, the tree of knowledge. She wasn't allowed to eat from it, but she did, didn't she? Oh well, oopsie daisy. So we're going to see why those trees were separated, what it means, what the fruit actually means. It's actually forbidden knowledge. So who's to say that it's forbidden? We're going to get into that a little later on. And which is the root? It is actually the root of rule, conquer and divide. The tree of life and the tree of knowledge got separated, and it caused the root of rule, conquer and divide. So it's all linking up to the stuff that we've done until now, yeah? We're also going to find out who are the Elohim and who are the Archons. That all starts today as well. And what part do they play in this story? That's what we're going to look at today. And then once we've discussed and disclosed and brought all that to the surface of our awareness, we're then going to pump it all in to our formulas and templates to heal the parts of that within us that are relevant to each and every one of us. So it's up to each and every one of you to find the bits that are resonating with your own personal story. Thanks very much. I'll see you again next week for the next two. Ciao, which are water and sacred union.